My God, I hate drugs.
Walang malisya yun. Si President nagsabi na tinanong niya ako kung single ka ba o married. Sinabi ko, married po ako sa Koreano. Meron po akong 2 anak. Tapos yon, parang ginawa lang namin ng yung kiss, parang twist lang yung pampakilig sa mga audience.
Former President Aquino is expected to personally go to the Department of Justice to file his counter-affidavit on the complaint regarding the Dingvaksha controversy. He's being accused of allegedly, during his term, anomalous and illegal funding and procurement of Dingvaksha, which reportedly endangered children, because there are some reports linking the deaths to the dengue vaccine. So later on, we'll see if he will be personally filing his affidavit.
Okay, and as you mentioned, today is the first day of classes, and as how many of like 27 million students are back in school, and that's from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. And so we have a guest here in the studio to help us handle, kids.
First days.
Yes, they have anxiety, they have stress. Should they cry? Should we allow them to cry? And so there's a lot of questions that she can actually answer. Not only that, but also parents. We get anxious when the kids
handle these children.
Ms. Maribel Junicio will be here live in the studio. Also, one of our top stories this morning.
All weekend, or
yeah,
all
that's
yesterday.
right. Basketball players Jeron Teng, Norbert Torres, and Thomas Torres. They were in a brawl, in an altercation. They were involved in a stabbing incident in Bonifacio Global City, and relatives also of the basketball players are looking to file charges against the suspects in this incident. And later on, again, stick around. We have more stories coming up. You're watching New Day on CNN Philippines.
The summer break is over for most kids. Classes and all public and some private schools open today. More than 27 million students are returning to schools nationwide. Our Rex Remitio is at the Quezon City High School. Rex, how prepared are schools now, and what are the challenges that they are facing?
Well, good morning, Ruth. As you can see right behind me, elementary and high school students are starting to prepare for the flag ceremony, the first for this year. And of course, other students are starting to attend their classes in a while. So far, it's all systems go. Students and teachers are already in their respective classrooms. Later, we are expecting Education Secretary Leonor Briones to check what's going on here. The DepEd says all public schools are ready in terms of what they call 6 variables: classrooms, teachers, chairs, toilets, working electricity, and running water. Education Undersecretary Tonicito Humali, however, admits at least 638 schools need some support. These are from regions of Ilocos, Central Luzon, Southern Tagalog, Bicol, Western Visayas, Central Visayas, Caraga, and Metro Manila. Humali says these compose only more than 2% of all schools that are needing support in 4 of the 6 areas I earlier mentioned. Some schools also have more students per teacher than the ideal student-to-teacher ratio of 1:45. Despite these challenges, the DepEd says all classes will begin today. Ruth.
Rex, in terms of security, what measures are the Philippine National Police implementing for today's opening of classes?
Well, 9,000 police personnel are deployed, at least here in Metro Manila. Some police personnel will be deployed. More police personnel will be deployed in vital installations and critical areas such as Caloocan, Taguig, and Manila, as considered by the National Capital Region Police Office. And these will be augmented by force multipliers coming from the Regional Public Safety Battalion. Ruth.
That was Rex Remitio reporting from Quezon City. Moving on to another top story, relatives of basketball players Jeron Teng, Norbert Torres, and Tomas Torres are looking to file charges against the suspects involved in the BGC altercation. Doctors are still closely monitoring the condition of the athletes after the brawl. Our Rex Remitio returns with the details.
In a cell phone video sent by a source to CNN Philippines, we see two groups of men who appear to be drunk and are jeering at each other. This was taken Sunday at around 2:30 in the morning outside the club at the 4th Strip in Taguig City. Their friends were trying to pacify them until the scuffle went full-blown. Security guards and bouncers in the area eventually stopped them. The police are investigating who among them provoked and started the assault.
Possibly itong mga basketball players in the fans na who were nag-grenade daw, tinanong idol pero hindi napansin, tapos minura na itong suspect.
PBA players Jeron Teng and Norbert Torres and former LaSalle Green archer Thomas Torres were all stabbed. They were treated at the nearby St. Luke's Hospital. Teng obtained 3 deep stab wounds on his back and another on his side. Thomas Torres, meanwhile, was stabbed in both of his biceps, while Norbert Torres has 11 stitches on his left arm and was already released. The suspects are now under the custody of the Taguig City Police. They are Edmar Lacandale, 40 years old and an American citizen, and Williard Basili, 37 years old. Both of them are in the construction industry. They claim they did not start the fight. But Basili admits he owns a ring knife which he used to defend himself.
Ano nangyari?
Sila po nagsimula, sir.
Bakit kayo may panaksak? Kahit ba nagsimula, bakit siya?
Kasi po pinagtulungan po ako, sir. 4 po ang sumugab sa akin.
Sino 4? Sino?
Hindi ko na po makilala kasi po wala po akong salamin. Sinutok po ako na wala yung salamin ko. Then they grabbed me, they pinned me down.
The Teng family, however, says Jeron and friends did not initiate the altercation. As basketball players, they say they have to care about their good reputation.
Lahat sila sila Norbert Torres and Thomas Torres, lahat sila may mga deep cuts. So how can you say that it's a self-defense? Puro ang lahat ng tama sa kanila.
Relatives of the victims say they will file charges of frustrated homicide and serious physical injury against the accused. The Southern Police District, meanwhile, vows to increase their 24/7 mobile patrols and random checks at bars in the area as part of tightened security measures. Rex Remitio, CNN, Philippines.
A party list lawmaker is pushing for measures to lessen the effects of the tax reform law or train law. ACT Teachers Representative Antonio Tino says they filed a bill last May to repeal some provisions in the train law, including the hefty excise tax on fuel. He joins calls by labor unions to increase the minimum wage to help low-income earners cope with the train's impact. Tino and other congressmen have filed a petition before the Supreme Court questioning the train law's validity. Meanwhile, President Duterte keeps his hands off on proposals to amend it. Before leaving for South Korea early this morning, the president said he's leaving it up to Congress to review, amend, or suspend the train law. He assures the public the economy is doing well despite rising prices of goods.
Lahat makita mo is oil na wala sa atin. Pagka bumaba yan, bababa lahat. Kaya ganon. So it's really, yung sabihin mo na whether it is a legislated salary, which is not really the practice, o hirap tayong lahat dito, it's oil. It's not because we're doing bad in business. We are doing fine. The exports. Problem is, I said, we have to buy oil to run everything, including to reach where you want to work.
Well, with us today is parenting expert Maribel Dionisio. Good morning, Maribel, and thanks so much.
Christine. Good morning to our parents.
Good morning,
it's
that's
a new
right.
schedule for our parents.
I know.
Wake up earlier.
Some kids, some kids enjoy going back to school,
Correct.
but some also, they get anxious and they're not really looking forward to it.
Right,
So
right.
what are the things or the triggers this anxiety?
Yes. So hopefully a week before, parents have been talking to these kids, reminding them that their schedule will change, will wake up earlier, and who are the people we're going to meet, our friends, if they've been in school. But if they're first-timers, this is where the anxiety usually is a lot more. So that the new place, new people, so it will be good to visit the school maybe every day for a few minutes.
Get them used
get them used to a certain routine and looking for the comfort room, for the canteen, who's my teacher.
That's
if you can do that, it will really reduce anxiety.
And what happens also to a lot of kids, first day of school, we hear a lot of crying.
Yes.
And so maybe you can give us tips on what parents can do. Should we actually allow our kids to cry it out and leave? Or should we say, naku, umiyak yung anak ko, I'll stay with you? Or where do we draw the line with that?
You'll want to have an agreement with your child beforehand. I had that also with my kids before. So I say, I know you might cry, because I know he was going to cry.
Okay.
So I know you might cry, and it's all right if you cry because it might be nervousness. So you acknowledge their feeling of being nervous or anxious. But mom will be here at 11 o'clock, or when you come out, I'll be there to pick you up. It'll be all right for you to cry. Or let's hold hands first now, or what can we do to reduce, the fear or the anxiety.
So it's more reassuring that I am not going to leave you in school. I'll be here. And this, we're talking mostly for
as long as you don't really leave the school, because there's some kids who go out
and look for,
and check, is mom there? And then they realize mom's not there. Oh!
Then they panic.
You have to tell them the truth, that I will come back, I will go home. Or if they say, Mom, can you still stay first? Maybe you can do that for a few days.
But this is mostly for young kids. We're talking like mga preschool, maybe until grade 1, not so much grade 2 or grade 3.
Yes.
How about the older ones? Do they also experience some anxieties, or they're like so excited to go back to school?
The teens who are not as socially adept, they're the ones who might be nervous. There'll be so many people.
Well, of course, there's also like, I was bullied last year.
Especially
are they going to be my classmates again this year?
And if they don't have many friends, and then they feel nervous. So we try to help them how to precisely make a friend, even just one friend, so that they will feel more comfortable. And if they were bullied, I hope the parents fixed it or help the child really. That's why it's important to build the confidence of our children while they are young. Because this is how we can really handle all this bullying that's happening here.
That's right. Being more confident and being sure of yourself. How about preparing for them physically, in terms of like time management? What time should they get out of bed? Because they enjoyed all summer sleeping and relaxing, at least most of them.
I know what we did is to, on the cartoon, make a time, a schedule that they see, and that's in their room, posted in the room. Time to get up, time to dress up. Do you want to eat at home, or do you want to eat in the car, or do you want to eat in school? Because many parents, they fight it out about the eating. Some kids don't like to eat before school. So make baon na lang, di ba? And bring that so that they have the schedule. Then up to the time, you'll be home at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. So we have time together. So let them look forward to something that they enjoy.
Okay.
So that it can help them also get up.
Those are for the kids that actually are starting school, but some schools won't start until July or August. So you parents still have time to prepare your child, for the coming school. Maybe wake them up, a week or so at 6 a.m. if that's the time they need to wake up for school.
And please, we tell parents, get your kids to the school closest to the home. Because now, because of traffic, kawawa naman, they get up at 5, some even get up at 4 a.m. It's not really age appropriate for those who are in the grade school or the lower school.
That's right.
Yes.
Also, if parents are watching right now, I'm sure a lot of them are, is there a way for them to find you if they have any more questions